Most beginners skip Windows logs completely. Then they get into a SOC and realize every alert, every investigation leads straight back to the event logs they never learned to read. In this episode, I'm going to show you where the important Windows logs live, which events matter for defenders, and how to start telling simple security stories from them. Here's the plan. First, we'll open Event Viewer and look at the 3 log types you actually need. Then we'll walk through key security events like logons and failed logons. Finally, we'll build a tiny story from the logs so you see how a real incident shows up on a single Windows box. On a Windows machine, your first stop is Event Viewer. Press the Windows key, type Event Viewer, or run eventvwr.msc, and you'll see a long list of logs that can look intimidating at first. For defenders, focus on 3 core logs under Windows logs: Application, Security, and System. Application logs, app-level issues. System logs, OS and driver events. And security is where your audit trail lives. Logons, privilege changes, and more. In this episode, we'll spend most of our time in the security log, because that's where attackers and admins both leave footprints. Security logs are full of event IDs, numbers that represent specific actions. You don't need to memorize the entire encyclopedia, but there are a few you should recognize immediately. Event ID 4624 is a successful logon. It tells you who signed in, from where, and how. Event ID 4625 is a failed logon, which can be an early sign of brute force attempts or users fat-fingering passwords. Event ID 4634 and 4647 cover logoff events. 4672 shows special privileges were assigned to a new logon, and 4688 logs new process creation when you enable it, which is critical for seeing what actually ran on the box. Let's tell one simple story. You see a 4624 successful logon for a user account at 10:03 p.m. from a particular workstation. A few seconds later, there's a 4672 event showing that logon received special privileges. Later, you see a logoff event. Even without a SIAM, this tells you something. Was that logon expected at that time? Should that user have those privileges? If the answer is no, you might be looking at a compromised account or someone doing something they shouldn't. Security logs get even more powerful when you add process creation and defender events. Event ID 4688, with command line logging enabled, tells you exactly which process ran and how it was launched. Defender logs show you when something was detected or blocked. If you see a suspicious process launch in 4688 and a moment later, Defender logs a malware detection, you can tie the executable back to the user, the logon session, and the machine, all from built-in logs. Here's your homework in Phase 1. On a Windows VM in your lab, log in and out a few times, try a bad password or 2, then open Event Viewer and find your own 4624 and 4625 events. Write down what you see: time, username, and source. Next, run a few basic commands or programs and look for 4688 process creation events. If you have Defender enabled, trigger a safe test detection or at least review the protection history, then correlate those entries with security and system logs. If you can trace your own logons, logoffs, process launches, and Defender events on a single Windows box, you are already ahead of most beginners. You're not just reading error messages, you're reading a timeline of what actually happened. In the next episode, we'll do the same on Linux: where to find logs, how to spot weird processes, and how to line it up with what you're seeing on the network. This is Chico Tech, Everyday Defender. If this helped you, like, subscribe, and keep building your Phase 1 roadmap.